The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. And this is one of those streams, or whatever the hell this is, that actually goes through the future. This morning, about 10:45, I played, using Action PC Hockey 2020, the entire NHL playoffs. Now, I made one mistake, and I'll tell you that right off the bat. I did not reseed after each round, and only one of the first round series was actually different from the lower seed one. So we'll start with that, and I can't really not show you this without going through and spoiling the rest of it for you. So, and I know that there are playoff games happening today, but trust me, we did this morning. I did this morning about 10:45. Played every single game out, computer versus computer. We did it on neutral ice. I really don't know about rosters, and so it's whatever came with the game. We're not worried about injuries, and so don't take this very seriously. But if you are a fan of well, I'm not going to spoil it for you right now. So, all right, let's go through first the Eastern Series. And so, my beloved Montreal Canadiens, don't worry about the dates there because that's obviously not right. You figured that they really didn't stand much of a chance against Philadelphia. The first two games, they scored 5 goals, but Philadelphia scored 9. The scene shifted to the other side of the ice in Toronto, and Philadelphia wiped the floor with them 4-1 and 4-0. So the Flyers win that series, and I agree. I just don't see Montreal doing much of anything in the postseason. They got past Pittsburgh though, and their kids played well, and maybe Carey Price can play well, but on paper this is Philadelphia's series, and I really do think that Philadelphia will wipe the floor. Never mind what's on the rest of the screen. Carolina and Boston, 6 games. Game 1 went to Carolina 6-5, and then Boston won Game 2 2-0. They split the middle 2 games, Boston 4-3 and Carolina 4-3. And Game 5 went to the Bruins 3-1, and they wrapped it up in 6-8-3 in the final. Come on, double click. They just went off. Brad Marchand, 5 goals. David Pastrnak, 6 assists in the series. Actually 7. Marchand at 6. They just ripped right through them. So that's how the end of that series went. Actually, they had a goal on a penalty shot. So how about that? Now, of course, if Columbus wins in overtime, as they might, this will be boot. But I have Tampa Bay beating Columbus in 4 games. Tampa getting revenge for what happened last year. Game 1 seems to be the only really close game, and Columbus winning that one with a minute 3 or 57 seconds to go on a Jenner goal. But that's how I have. Oh, Tampa. Never mind. Tampa, I have winning that in 4 straight. Islanders of Washington, no 1987 repeat. The Islanders, I have winning Game 1. Washington winning Game 2, 7-6. Winning both the games supposedly on the New York half of Toronto. And then Game 5, a 6-5 win for the Ovies, with Carlson winning the series at 16:07 of the third from Panik and Kovalchuk. Big for John Carlson, if he actually does indeed play. So I've got that's my first round for the East. So Flyers in 4, Bruins in 6, Tampa in 4, and Washington in 4. Now, in the West, Chicago actually takes the first 2 from Vegas and then proceeds to get spanked in the next 4. 5-2, 9-2, 6-5, and 7-3. Chicago, of course, one of the other 12-seeded teams aside from Montreal to get into the playoffs. They got past Edmonton. So we'll see if that holds true. St. Louis. Imagine this one. They beat Vancouver, And they win game 1 in overtime 8-7. Perieco from De La Rose and Peter Angelo is how we have it, but that doesn't mean much of anything. Barbashev, watch that name. That will become a big name later on. And so if you're a Gloria fan, don't look at the right of the screen. Just focus on the Vancouver versus St. Louis. They win it game 5, 3-2, but that didn't go into overtime. Colorado and Arizona play a classic. The series goes the distance, and Colorado gets the series-winning goal with 10 seconds to go. Nieto from Cole and McCarr, who had 9 assists in the series. So Colorado outwits, and yes, survives Arizona 2-1. So they move on. And the lone upset of the series is Calgary and Dallas. I have Calgary winning that one in 5. Giordano gets the game series winner 51 seconds into overtime from Gaudreau and Lindholm. So Dallas didn't really show up. Lucic had 2 goals in the first round too. So Calgary I have moving on. So Vegas in 6, St. Louis in 6, Colorado in 7, and Calgary in 5. Now, Calgary being the 6th seed really should play Vegas. I have Vegas playing St. Louis. It really doesn't matter. Let's go to the Western semis. Well, this series can't happen, but St. Louis beat Vegas in 6 games. Vegas took the first 2 in Edmonton. St. Louis switched to the other side of the ice, won those 2. So technically the road teams won the first 4 games. St. Louis, wearing the dark uniforms, wins game 5 rather. Thomas from Barbashev in the 3rd period. That gave St. Louis a 3-2 series lead. And then game 6, St. Louis gets past Vegas. Vegas had a chance in the 3rd, couldn't do it. O'Reilly with his 5th. That was a series winner from Perron. My dear friend Max Pacioretty had 9 assists for Vegas in the 2 series, but it was not enough. Too bad this couldn't be a series because Colorado and Calgary was an all-time classic. Game 7 went to the last period before anything there, 1-1 after 1, but in the 3rd, Mangiapane. There you go. Uncle Ron can't pronounce anything. From Hannafin and Backlund, that was enough. And Calgary moves on to the conference finals where they'll play St. Louis. Colorado, thank you very much. A good run for them, but not much. Makar, by the way, had 11 assists in the first 2 rounds. All right, Bruins fans, I hate to do this to you. The Bruins had a 3-0 lead against the Flyers, 6-4, 4-2, and a Game 3 win, 5-4. DeBrusque from Bergeron. They won the first 2 on the Philly with Philly wearing the home unis. They won Game 3 with Boston wearing the home unis. It looks all Boston. Philly shuts them out 5-0 in Game 4, 7-3 in Game 5. 7-5 in Game 6. The series goes 7, and with 6 seconds to go, Sanheim scores the series winner from Tonchi and Provorov, and that'll do. So for the second time, we have the Bruins having a 3-0 lead in a best-of-7 series to the Flyers and blowing it. 6 seconds left. Ouch. The Ovies against Tampa. And this really was a one-sided series. Tampa wins the first 2 games, 6-5 and 4-2. Washington wins game 3. Tampa wins game 4, 5-4. Tampa getting the game winner with 9:30 out the clock in the third period. Hedman from McDonough and Cirelli to give them the 5-4 win. And then the series winner in overtime, Steven Stamkos. His second of the playoffs from Kucherov and Point in double overtime, 11:03 of double overtime. That would be a late night. In fact, Washington had a 4-1 lead in the second period and blew it. Point, Joseph, however you say that, McDonough, and then Stamkos, who had 1 goal and 3 assists in the last game of the series. Conference finals, a one-sided affair. St. Louis takes the first 2. Of course, the conference finals are going to be in Edmonton, and the Stanley Cup finals. And then Canada's hopes to retain the cup or get the cup back went out the window. In game 4, 4-3, Blaze with a game winner again with 1:15 to go in the game, assisted from Perron as St. Louis wins the Western Conference in our view for the second year in a row. Gloria, Gloria. Tampa Bay makes up for what happened last year by losing in the first round by pretty much taking Philadelphia behind the woodshed. They split the first 2 games, and then Tampa wins game 3, 5-2. They win game 4, 5-4. Philadelphia up 4-0 in the first, but back comes the Lightning. Point, Hedman, Stamkos, Killorn with the tying goal, and Point wins the game with a 1:50 on the clock. His 10th of the playoffs from Kucherov. His 14th. So Tampa represent. And the conference clincher, again, pretty much, back to the 80s. 8-6. 2-2 after 1. Then the second period, 7 combined goals. But Tampa gets the winner pretty much on a Killorn power play goal with 8:31 gone off the clock in the third period from Stamkos and Point. Stamkos 3 points. Point just having a great series, 23 through the conference finals. Maroon, a power play goal to seal it from Palat and Killorn at 18:01. But alas, the Stanley Cup final in our view is a one-sided affair. Tampa wins game 1, 6-4. Stamkos made it 5 with the 5th Tampa goal in the third. Then Falk and Periaco made it. Never mind. Anyway, they win that one. Tampa gets the empty netter from Hedman from Point and Kucherov, and that's how game 1 went. 4-2 Tampa. Combined 6 goals in the third period. Stamkos, by the way, had a hat trick in game 1 with 8 hits. But game 2 went to St. Louis. Blaze with 22. Wow! There was 2 goals in the last minute. Paquette tied the match at 4 from Johnson and McDonough. And 17 seconds later, Blaze from O'Reilly and Pietrangelo evened the series at 1. St. Louis 5, Tampa 4. The middle 2 games, of course, went to St. Louis. They put 5 on in the first. Schwartz, Steen, Sundqvist, Shen, and Periaco. So by the time that Tampa got back to the locker room, they were down 5-1. 2 goals in the third didn't matter. St. Louis leads the series 2-1. Game 4, St. Louis. Thomas, his 7th of the postseason from Schwartz and Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo had 2 assists in the game. And then Schwartz, with 9:38 off the clock, gives them the insurance goal. He got it from Thomas. And St. Louis is sitting awful pretty. And indeed, they would win the cup in overtime. I told you Barbashev would be the name to watch for. He gets the series clincher from Steen and Peter Angelo. Tampa tied the game with under 90 seconds to go. Stamkos, 9 goals for him in the postseason from Kucherov and Point. But Barbashev hands our projection to the Blues in 5 games and back-to-back Stanley Cups. Laura, I hope you're happy. So, Ryan O'Reilly, the leading scorer for the winning team, gets our Conn Smythe Trophy, 9 goals and 19 assists for 28 points. Nikita Kucherov for Tampa had a magnificent playoff, 30 points in 19 games. Braden Point, 11 goals in 19 games for 25 points. Top players not in the finals, David Pastrnak, 10 goals and 21 points in 13 games. Johnny Gaudreau, 19 points in 16 games. Nathan MacKinnon for Colorado, 18 points in 12. Brad Marchand, 17 points in 13 games. And you can kind of go from there. Shen, the leading goal scorer in our playoff, had 13 goals in 21 games. Killorn and Point were right behind him. Perron for St. Louis, 10 goals in 21 games. And Pastrnak had 10 and 13. Kucherov had averaged over an assist a game. O'Reilly, the Conn Smythe, had 19. Peter Angelo and Thomas for St. Louis. Hedman had 16 for Tampa. Who was the biggest bad boy of the playoffs? Chris Stewart. He had 28 penalty minutes in 11 games. Bogosian for Tampa, 24. Perron for St. Louis, 17. Neckis for Carolina had 17 in the first round. And Mackenzie McEachran for St. Louis, 15 and 21. The best goalie, Jake Allen. A 2.95 goals against average in 21 games. Pavel Francouz for Colorado, a 2.63 and 14. Carter Hart, Ante Renata, and Cam Talbot also with good Stanley Cup playoffs. Again, no nasty grams because I pronounced your favorite player's name wrong. I'm sorry. And again, all these games were on neutral ice, and I did not reseed after each round, but it only mattered the once. But beyond that, I think it's pretty plausible. And certainly St. Louis can repeat as Cup champions. They're still there, and the poor Bruins. I actually do feel for them. Up 3-0 in the series for the second time against Philadelphia, and it's over. Ugh. But so my call: St. Louis over Tampa, and St. Louis in 5. I'm not winning $1 million, and neither are you. I'm Ron Juckett. Thanks for watching. Baseball returns to YouTube tomorrow with the second part of our Rangers Brewers 1978 replay, and of course we'll have golf later this week. Thank you so much. Bye bye.